figure is still a good figure. What part of that didn't you? This is Earthrise Scorponite, and that's a tub that has a bunch of my stuff in it. If you smell what the rock is cooking. Hey everybody, welcome to Review Time with I Slip, I'm iSlip, and today we're going to take a look at the KFC Heavy Metal Toecutter. Now this is a KFC take on a Masterpiece styled CyKill, and it's interesting. It's interesting is what I'm gonna say. So here's the box with some artwork. It's definitely CyKill, although I'll be honest with you, that's a really funky looking drawing. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. The side is just kanji and a barcode. The back has specs on it and also a bio. If you want to read it, go ahead and read it. And yep, that's about it for that. So we're going to go ahead and grab our toe cutter, place them on the turntable of death. I'm just kidding. And here's Toecutter in his vehicle mode. Now I'm going to be honest with you. This mode is the mode that I have the most mixed feelings about. I mean, here's the thing. When it's held together, it's actually a pretty respectable looking bike. It looks very, very menacing, and it's very big. It's a pretty big bike. Here is, for size comparison, that's a Masterpiece car bot right there, and just in vehicle mode, this thing stands about halfway as tall as a Masterpiece car bot. So, to give you perspective, and here is a Masterpiece Optimus Prime, so you get an idea. He's pretty massive, actually a lot bigger than I thought he would be in his vehicle mode. So the colors are very CyKillish, and they are in pretty much the right points and stuff. Here's the problem. The problem is this and this. See this here, see how easily I picked that up? It's because it's unclipped. It's supposed to clip into there, but as you can see, I push it down and it pops right back up again. So when I put this down, if I don't have these kickstands up, if I don't have the kickstands down, when I put him down, it pops right out. Now I'm going to try to use some crazy glue to thicken up the areas over here where these connect, and see if maybe that helps a little bit. But unfortunately, right now, as it is, it can't support it's a fairly hefty bot. It's just that it's not able to support its own weight in this mode. So also the back kind of looks a little what's the word I'm looking for? It looks very diminutive compared to the front and the rest of the bike, because normally there would be saddlebags and stuff. This is based on the Junkions, so unfortunately they didn't put anything there. Whereas, like, if you look at, here is Action Toys Bike Robo, their take on CyKill, which honestly it's perfect. The only thing that would make it more perfect would be that it would be a bigger scale. Instead of being in scale with more like Masterpiece car bots, if it was more like Masterpiece Optimus or one of the taller Masterpieces, that would have made it perfect. But I mean, as far as the way it looks, the way it transforms, this looks just like it came out the cartoon, minus these little extra bits here, and had these guys put on some extra bits like this, that would have, you know, gone a long ways to fixing the back, because the back looks a little unfinished in my eyes. And I don't know how to feel about these spiky wheels. They are, on the one hand, they kind of do look cool, and they're also very sharp. On the other hand, if this thing could hold together, you wouldn't be able to roll it, because see, it gets stuck on the wheels. I mean, it gets stuck on the spikes, so the wheels don't roll, even though they can roll. No, they can't. Now, well, you know what? Let's try this one. So the wheel can roll. There's a part in here that doesn't want to clip right, and it's causing an issue. But I mean, it doesn't matter anyway, because it can't support its own weight, and that's a shame. Also, since this is usually CyKill's head here, kind of makes it look like he's got a gigantic noggin, and these are usually CyKill's front arms, as you can see here. Even though they're not on this, they're made to kind of look like his arms, and it makes his arms look really teeny weeny. So he looks like a weird, honestly, he looks like a really weird cartoon, like a fan drawing that from somebody who has a really weird art style. And in the next mode, we're gonna see that kind of carry over, at least in the face of the robot. But we're not gonna worry about that at the moment. So you do get extra bits. You get these little, what do you call it? I was gonna say horns. You get these spikes, which aren't necessary. It's okay. It's cool that they're there, but it adds nothing to the mode. And then you got spikes on the front, which doesn't add much to the mode, but it does kind of look pretty cool. And it's too bad that the back spikes aren't painted silver like these are. He's coming apart. So and that's the thing, he also does not like to, if you fiddle with him, he does not like to stay together in this mode anyway. And really the thing that's really causing the issue is this piece not wanting to stay plugged in. So when you put it down, that pushes it up. Now that wasn't that big of an issue on the original release for this figure. The what do you call it? The Wreck-Gar version of this figure. It wasn't a huge deal because there was a point in here where you could put the front wheel, so it wouldn't be causing this kind of an issue. But they've removed that point, so unfortunately, and then that one just went flying. Unfortunately, that does not function as it should. So this is what it looks like without the spikes, if I can get it to stay. There we go. I mean, I think it looks slightly better without the spikes, just because even though he's based on the Junkion mold, he's not a Junkion. So, and if my voice sounds funny, it's because I'm trying to find that piece that flipped down to the floor while I'm talking. So yeah, I mean, it's nice looking. I like it. I don't fully regret getting this figure. I think it looks fairly nice. It's just that I mean, this is what, like the 7th, 8th, 9th release of this mold. They could have fixed it by now. They could have fixed whatever the issues were. This is my first introduction to this mold. Okay. Now, this transformation isn't the hardest. Honestly, it wasn't a hard transformation. Actually, after doing it, it was fairly easy. The parts that sucked were, there's the part under here which forms this crotch. It's supposed to peg into the legs, but it doesn't. And then this part right here, that's the part. It's frustrating because you keep pushing it down and it doesn't stay down. If this could push out a little bit more, then that would be less of a problem, but it can't push out any more because of the way everything is is made. So yeah, it sucks. The figure itself doesn't suck. It's not a bad figure. It's just not. It's wasted potential. That's what it is. So the first thing we're going to do is, aside from taking the spikes off, we're going to take these little bits off the brakes. We're going to take the brake grips off. They just clip on. And the rear view mirrors, we're going to take those off. And I'm probably never going to put these back on the figure again. So there is a bit of parts forming. That's the only bit of parts forming. I don't like it, and it's unnecessary. Well, no, this is parts forming too, but that's the only thing that you got where it goes to the side and doesn't get used in both modes. So go ahead and take the front wheel off. Take this whole thing, pull these out. Not that part out. That part wasn't supposed to come out. These pieces, plug them together. They're gonna form a weapon that looks kind of like CyKill's Gobot hands. So we'll put that to the side. Put his wheels to the side. Where exactly did this? It's plugged in here. I wonder if this piece here was put in upside down. Maybe that's why it's not going as far as it should. Oh, it unscrewed itself. I pulled it straight out of the pin. So, yeah. We'll worry about that later. It's not necessary. I'm pretty sure yours won't have that issue. Just be a little more careful than I was. The pin just came right out, goes right back in. We're gonna go ahead and actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate these bits here. When you're turning him into a robot, when you're turning him into a vehicle mode, his feet will flip up and go into these pegs. So keep that in mind. And we're just going to go ahead and slide those out, flip these pegs up. Don't need them out anymore. Come under here, we're going to unpeg these bits here, and it's supposed to peg in. The crotch piece here is supposed to peg into the legs. They didn't peg in, so we're not going to worry about that. We'll lift this up a little bit and separate that so we can pull the wheel out. And ouch, that hurt. So you're left with just this. So we're going to go ahead and take these bits. If they haven't folded up yet, fold them up. Fold these bits, these red bits around to form the heels. Again, not heel spurs. It drives me nuts when I hear people say heel spurs, because heel spurs, they'd be heel spurs if they weren't used to keep the figure standing. Heel spurs don't keep you standing. Heel spurs you use to kick into the side of an animal to get it to go forward. Hence the word spur. It spurs the animal forward. So, there we go. So it's not very much, but it's something. And you can just rotate these pieces around, and then these pieces bring down. They're going to be plugged in. These will be plugged into there, so you want to unplug them. Okay, and then this gets folded down. This gets folded down, and then you push the legs up. Rotate these yellow bits around to cover up these little holes. Bring this bit down and these bits down, and they will clip in, and you've got your bottom section done. So now we're going to go to the top section. So we're going to take the arms and bring them down, around, down and around. So those are pretty much done. Come in here, we're going to get what's not supposed to, this is not all supposed to come out. Let's put that back in. Okay, not exactly sure what the heck is going on. Okay, so you have CyKill's head looking at you. So you're gonna take it and bring it out. Actually, bring these pieces down first, then take it and bring it out. And these pieces just kind of clip on there. So you've got CyKill almost done. You're gonna take the windshield, lift it up, unpeg this white bit here. Hopefully it's still focused. I can't tell. So you're gonna pull that out. This will go like that, and we will rotate it around. Yes, yes. And that's gonna end up going through there, because it's going to go all the way through into the back piece here. We want to get these pieces out, and then these bits will, let's see, it will supposed to go through here. Or do I turn them after I stick them in? Let's see, stick them in, okay, and then turn them around. There we go. And then this folds like so into this back area, like that, like that, he says. And make sure you slide this down, and this is going to plug into there, but first we have to bring that down, and then that gets plugged into the bottom like so, and it holds better now. It holds better in that bottom peg, but the top peg, it just does not want to hold. And then these bits just go right here. For some reason, not exactly sure why they go in there, because it's not necessary, but there you go, they're in there. And let's see, rotate the arms around. Rotate the arms around, and there we have Monsieur Toecutter in his robot mode. Hopefully that wasn't too awkward. Okay. Now I feel like he doesn't want to. His legs, his feet, I mean, are pretty loose for some reason. Don't know why, but there's a little screwdriver screw I could probably fix that with, but we're going to just get him standing and situate the hands however you want. I'm going to open them up because and then the last thing that you would need to do to go ahead and get this set completed would be really to put his wheels on his shoulders, and there you have Toecutter, aka CyKill, in his robot mode. And for the most part, it looks pretty good. I don't mind. Now, a lot of people had an issue with the parts that and some of the pictures I've seen seem to be silver, but they're gray here. It doesn't bother me, only because if you look at the original Gobot toy, the small one, it had the chrome, and when you looked at the bigger one, it had some pieces that were chrome, but like the arms and the legs here, those weren't chrome. Those were gray plastic. So in my eyes, this is the Super Gobot version, except that he's got his wheels on his shoulder instead of hanging out on his back. So you can take this and then you can plug it into his hand. There are little masterpiece style rectangular pegs to go into rectangular holes. So he's got his, whatchamacallit, you could even split them and have them dual wield. Also, I forgot, during the motorcycle mode, to show that these are spring loaded, as like real suspension would be in a motorcycle. And then you've got a bunch of little bits left over. Now you can put the the spikes on him. So it's shown with the silver spikes on the shoulder, which actually look pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I'm probably not gonna ever do that, but you can do that if you want to. And then these spikes are, I believe, shown hanging out of his the side of his knees, which again, okay, kind of cool, but I'm probably never going to use them again because there's no real reason. I'm probably just going to go in the box and stay there. In the box and stay there. And now that I've got the toe cutter box, I will probably use it for my accessories for my my other masterpiece CyKill, the Action Toys CyKill, which I think is pretty good. So this guy looks pretty darn awesome, honestly. His face looks a little weird from certain angles. Like, I don't know. That looks a little weird. Well, you know why it looks weird? Because it doesn't look Gobot enough. If I didn't have already a CyKill whose face looks exactly like it came out of the TV show, this probably wouldn't bother me that much. Because it's not a bad face, really. So, speaking of, give me a moment. I'm going to get the other one transformed into his robot mode, and we're going to compare the two. Okay, and there we go. We have our CyKills together. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I like him a lot. And he's sitting on my season 3 shelf just because, but he sits on my season 1 shelf. Even though he's let's get Optimus Prime in here. They're both actually too small to scale where I'd want them to be. He's a lot closer to a scale where I think he could, you know, take on Megatron and win, whereas he's just a little too small. He's more in scale with, you know, just slightly bigger than a Carbot. Now, originally in Gobots, they didn't really have too much scale. Like, everybody was about the same height. Unless you were like Zod, the big giant monster robot. But all of them were about the same. The Gobots were about the same height because they were scaled to the toys. So, anyway. So, between the two of them, I mean, he looks closer to the cartoon, and he has a lot of options. You get extra fists for this guy, which I'm going to do a whole review on him, but you get extra fists, which look, if you look at the weapon, you look at the weapon, it's just his Gobot fists. He also comes with blast parts, so you take the hands out and you put these in to simulate how Gobots didn't have guns, they just shot from their hands. He also comes with a bunch of different face options that, so you got Bike Robo, so if you want this to be Bike Robo, the good robot, instead of CyKill, the evil robot, you got that. You got his poop eating grin, you got his normal scowly face. You got a lot of options. Whereas the KFC, it's just the one option, which, you know, it's, you know what though, the more I see it, the less I have an issue with it. But I think, you know, between my two CyKills, this guy just pulls off CyKill better. Robot mode is better. Robot mode looks closer to the cartoon. This looks really good. See, I feel like this is CyKill, as drawn by the people, Hanna-Barbera, who drew the, you know. And then this would be CyKill if it was drawn by, where would I see these angular faces at? Like, there was a few episodes in season 3 where they had a really bad studio animating, and then they had this studio that made everything look amazing, and I think that's where he would have fit at. So I think it was Studio Ox they called it, and I think it looked great there. But that said, let's go over. He's not a bad figure. I don't know if he's worth getting, especially at the current asking price, but he's not a bad figure. He just has a few problems, and the main problem really being in his vehicle mode. In the robot mode, let me get my little turntable out, by the way, because this way I can turn around smoothly and it looks nice. Again, it's a cake turntable. I got it from Walmart because I don't know where people like M go and everybody else, they get these really nice ones that turn on their own. This won't turn on its own, but I can make it turn fairly smoothly. So I'm not really a big fan of the thing on his back, but hey, not like I said, this guy here, let's take a look at the Action Toys CyKill's back. That is clean. That is nice. It's a shame that they couldn't do the same with this guy, but he is being a junkie on. It's coming from a different figure. It's not a bad thing. It's just not the greatest. So it looks nice, honestly. The more I'm looking at it, the more I like him. In this mode, he reigns supreme over his other mode. So I don't have a problem with his arms and legs not being chromed. Actually, I think on the cartoon it was probably just drawn as gray or white anyway. So not a huge issue. Not a huge issue. Let me go over articulation real quick. His head turns left and right very slightly. I don't know why it doesn't turn more. I might have to open it up to find out what's going on, because it only turns left and right very slightly, very, very slightly. It does look up really high. It doesn't look down. Arms on a ratchet, that is so nice. Friction joint out like that. It rotates at the, is that the upper bicep? No, the whole arm rotates up to the shoulder. He has double jointed elbows. That's pretty nice. Whoops, that looks bad. Hands rotate 360. Individually articulate fingers, so his thumb moves up and down. His fingers all move independently. They only move at the one, so his hands are always kind of like in a curl thing. But that's not a big deal to me, because CyKill's hands were never flat. They're always rounded, because they're actually just drawn as round. You know, they're just round. So even when the Action Toys has a bit of roundness, this actually has a lot more range to its fingers than the Action Toys one does. Waist rotates left and right. There is no ab crunch. Nope, no ab crunch. These flaps move, so if you need to, you can go all the way forward. As far as going back, you get that far back, which is not too bad. You get about 90 degrees at the knee, which is not too bad. It could have been better, but it could have been a lot worse. His legs kind of go everywhere. They swivel. The toes go point, but the back of the heel doesn't move. So you can get some articulation out of that, and I think that's about it. And if you want him to stand taller, you can just open these up a little bit, and that'll give him a little more height. It'll look a little weird, but that'll give him more height, so he can stand eye to eye with, maybe a little bit higher than that. Oh, why is that moving by itself? Don't do that. Okay. And give him more height, so he looks like he's almost as tall. He's about where he should be. It's just, I don't know, maybe somebody can come up with some kind of fillers so we can add on to there, so it fills his leg out a little bit more, because his arms are long enough to, it's fine. It's fine. In any case, it's pretty nice. There's a lot of die-cast metal, if I'm honest with you. These bits here all feel die-cast. I'm not sure if that's die-cast. I don't think so. It might have some die-cast parts in it. Oh, it does, because this part here is also part of it. So, it feels like that's die-cast up there, but this part is not die-cast. That might be it, but it has enough weight and heft to feel pretty solid. It's just certain things, like the feet, that's not good. But he stands. So yeah, he's not a bad figure. He could have been a lot worse, but he should have been a lot better. That's the problem. He looks great. He does it. There's nothing really wrong with the way he looks. I know I'm backtracking from what I said originally, but honestly, the more I see this, I've only had him for a few days, and one day he was in robot mode, one day he was in vehicle mode. So I really, but the more I see this, the more I actually really like it. I mean, it's just honestly not where it should be as far as masterpiece styled figure should be. It's not. It's got too many issues. Not so much in this mode. In this mode, the only real issue I have is his feet, and maybe that his head doesn't want to turn. That's really it. And maybe that bit in the backpack. Maybe. I mean that's a little negligible because you never really look from the back anyway, and I don't care. But the bike mode, that's where the issue really is, where it doesn't want to stay clipped together, where the chassis doesn't want to stay where the engine area would. I don't know what you call it, but it doesn't clip where it's supposed to, which kind of ruins that mode. So I don't know. If you want a CyKill, I think you'd be better off getting the Action Toys Machine Robo Deluxe Bike Robo. Get that. It comes with all the face pieces you need to turn them into CyKill from Bike Robo. So it looks, honestly, I think that one's a little bit better all around. It just has a better feel. It's not quite the right masterpiece scale, but it will do for what you need. So between the two of them, I think that one is better. This one's not bad, especially in this mode. The more I'm seeing it, the more I'm really liking this interpretation. But I can't recommend buying it, especially at the current price. If they dropped it down to like $80, $75, maybe, because you're really only going to enjoy one half of what this robot's capable of. The transformation is not bad, actually. If I'm honest, the transformation was pretty decent. It's just that the once you get it into vehicle mode, that's where the issue is. I mean, it's enough that it's only a little bit of a problem that it looks anorexic from the back end. Like it's like a person with really big shoulders and a big chest and a big upper body, and they got no booty or legs. That's what it looks like. It looks like a really huge thing tapering into nothing. So, but again, that wouldn't be quite that bad if the thing just stuck together the way it was supposed to. And also, if these wheels didn't have the spikes on them. Again, the spikes look great in this mode, but they look hard. They don't work well in the other mode. Not at all. So that's it. iSlip. Thank you for watching. I know I rambled a bit, and this went on a lot longer than I thought. Can I tell you to get this figure? No. Can I say don't get this figure? No. I can't say either of those. I mean, really, it's your money, so really, it's your decision. But this figure is just such in the middle. Whereas I've had other figures like the Action Robo, I can say get that figure. This Transformer here, the Transform Element Oak Leader, I can say get that because it's a good figure. It's a good figure. It's a good vehicle, and the transformation is not so much fun. I'll be honest with you. I've only done it once or twice, and I don't really relish doing it again. But when you get to both ends, it's good. This guy, the transformation's fine. The robot mode is fine. It's actually, the more, like I said, the more I see it, the more I'm enjoying it. It's the other mode that's the issue. The other mode is the problem, the vehicle mode, and that's half the toy. So, and it's not a lot of things. It's really just one really small thing, which is that back end being a little small, whereas the front end is gigantic. And then the other thing is that it doesn't hold together. This piece here, the front half doesn't hold together like it's supposed, that looks weird. She's got it's either a pimple or a nipple, whatever you call it. But that said, I can't say get this figure, but I can't say don't get this figure. I'm glad I got this figure. That I am 100% glad I got this figure. So I can say for me, this was worth the purchase, even if the other mode kind of sucks, because this is really the mode that's going to be on my shelf. And if I remember, I'll put pictures at the end of it. Well, a picture of it at the end on my masterpiece shelf. And the robot mode feels good when you're manipulating it. The only problem is the feet. The feet are a little loose. But somebody online, I saw somebody, Patriot Prime, I think it was, he tightened the screws on his and it worked. That said, I'm iSlip. Thank you for watching this video. Again, it's not a bad figure, but it's not where it should be. And this is the only version of this mold I have. I wanted to pick up the Wreck Guard, but I never could get myself to pick it up. And I got this figure, and I don't know if it's a good thing I passed on the Wreck Guard or if it's not, because it looks like the Wreck Guard holds better than this one does. And in the other mode, in the vehicle mode. That said, I'm iSlip. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and I hope you can come to a decision. If you decide to get this figure, let me know how you like it. I mean, I've seen people who like it even with its flaws, like me, and some other people I've seen online seem to like it despite its flaws. And then there are other people who have gotten it, and as soon as they took it out the box, they were like, nope, this is going on eBay. And I respect that. I respect that. You know, you saw that it wasn't for you, and you were doing something about it. You didn't overly bash the figure. You said what you didn't like about it, and then you kept it going. And I applaud you for that. So that said, I'm iSlip. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and ciao.